Hey there viewers, thank you for tuning into Supermariodiagnostics once again. Today we are doing a bit of an update video, a tooling video, and it is concerning borescopes. I have recently screwed up my Vividia. If you guys remember, I did a review video on that in the past, comparing it to another Vividia. And one of them was an articulating borescope, a 360 articulating borescope, which is the one that I own, and then the other one is a two-way articulating, or one-way articulating, I believe. And both are great products, but since I have screwed up my articulating borescope, which I will show what I did to it, I decided to go with something else, go in a different direction. So I went ahead and got me a TESLONG. Those of you who know, some of you may have been seeing their name come across the borescope field for quite some time now, and they've garnered a pretty good reputation for themselves, and rightfully so. I'm pretty impressed with this little unit. It's not an extremely expensive unit. The Vividia was over $1,000. The TESLONG is not even close to that, and it is not bad at all. The one I'm talking about is the NTS500. This is it right here. It is an all-in-one unit. It records pictures, and when you are recording video, it also records audio as well. So that's pretty good for me, because I could just throw in one of these into a DVI and explain it, speaking to the unit as if it was speaking to the customer, and it is pretty convenient. I can't say the same for the Vividia. This will not record audio at all. So yeah, just a minor setback. This one is articulating, but this one is not. But to make up for it, they have 3 cameras in here. If I change to another camera, it changes to the other side. Obviously, wearing an intake port is not going to look too good, but look at that. I mean, wow, the camera does not do justice. If I could show you the quality of this, it is not bad at all. It is really hard to quantify that, but either way, it is not bad at all. I haven't worked up the focal distance perfectly yet to get it to the max resolution. That is something you have to consider. On this one, it is much closer. I would have to get real close to the valve in order for it to look good. I'm going to take a picture of each of these so you guys can compare yourselves. Obviously, you know, this is a very expensive unit. You're not going to be able to compare realistically, but let me see if I can get this thing at the right resolution. It's hard to tell where it really shines. I think the focal distance may be like way more back. Really hard to tell, because, well, you're gonna have to decide for yourselves. Obviously the resolution is not going to be the same. I'll tell you that much right now. And I've checked myself. I've saved the photos. For this screen size, for seeing it in action, it is sufficient. That's one of the things. I reached out to them and I told them I perceive some kind of blurriness on the actual pictures. I told them I'd be honest. You know, in my review of this, they wanted me to review it, so I'm going to give them a review. I do like the 3 cameras. They have different magnifications, so you know, if you wanted to get a little closer or further away, you just twist the camera in the bore and do it like that. So, which is extremely useful for valves, intake valves. That one of the things about the articulating borescope that kind of sets us back with intake valves is its inability to look at the face of the valve. So you really need a 90-degree view on it, and that's what we can do with these side-facing cameras. So I think I will grab a capture for you guys so you can see what I mean. I'll grab the best that I can with an articulating borescope, and then I'll grab one with the TESLONG, and you guys can see for yourselves what I'm talking about. There are definite advantages to having side-facing cameras. So we're going to look at a couple things here. I am in the bore using the front-facing camera, and you can see it's a little blurry. and you're gonna need some distance. The focal distance on this might be around 2 inches on the front one, and that's as clear as I think I could get it. Anything closer than that, it looks just extremely blurry. If I change to my side camera, you can see pretty well that cylinder wall, at least in my opinion. I'm gonna mess with the light a bit just to see. That's the brightest setting, second brightest setting, and the lowest setting. This has auto exposure, so you could tell the difference. The camera usually doesn't have auto exposure. You're gonna have very different clarity. Anyway, this is the other camera. You can get even closer with this one. The focal distance is very close on this one. It's hard for me to articulate it or move it exactly how I want it because it is a semi-rigid design. We're gonna pull up a bit, see if we can take a look at those intake valve face. And of course the LED is a bit strong, so it's a little hard to see, but I don't even know if I could do that with the articulating one. It's a hit or miss. It depends on the engine design, really. I'm gonna go to the other camera, and you can take a good look and you see there's no carbon on that intake valve face. Of course we would have to move it around to take a look at the entire face, but that's kind of the point. You know, you want to see if there's any carbon hanging that valve slightly open, and it does the job. It does the job pretty well. I'm trying to twist this thing. Since it's a semi-rigid, it's a little more difficult than it would be with the articulating scope, but you get the idea. It does the job pretty well. Pretty happy with the side-facing cameras. Can't wait to see what else TESLONG has in store. Let's go ahead and take a look at the articulating borescope in comparison. Alright, so now we're going to take a look at the articulating borescope. I'm going to start bringing it into the bore and turn on my light. The nice thing about that is I could guide it in simply by articulating the borescope on its own. We're going to go all the way down to see what the focal range is. I'm putting my LED all the way up, and you can see a very clean, crisp picture at about that distance. It is, wow, it is kind of the same when you compare to the other one. It is kind of the same focal distance as the other one, but the nice thing is that we can look completely upwards, and I do apologize for the messy transition there, but you get the idea. This engine has seen better days, but we'll be hard pressed to get a good look at the intake valve face. Usually you're gonna want to face it 90 degrees, but towards where you'll have more room. So sometimes the spark plug hole isn't directly in the center, and it becomes much more difficult to try to get a look at that valve face. It's just not gonna happen. So yeah, that's not gonna happen. And it does happen. If you ever fixed a compression issue with an induction service, that is because you had carbon on the intake valve face, and that's what fixed your lack of compression. If you're wondering whether you should get an articulating borescope or if you should get a side-facing borescope, I say you get both. They don't have to be the most expensive thing out there, but I'd say get both if you can. Get creative with their uses. You can see that with the articulating borescope, you can look directly up the cylinder and look at a dropped seat like we did in the past videos in the Saturn video. I think it was an Ion or a View, one of those two. I think it was an Ion misfire video. We found a dropped seat. There's plenty of uses. Now the side camera, will you be able to see intake valve faces? Yes, but you won't be able to look directly at the valve itself. It might be difficult to see a chipped valve like we saw. I believe we saw it in another video. I can't remember which one. It was one of the misfire videos. We saw a chipped exhaust valve, I want to say. Anywho, point is, for in-cylinder stuff, if you see a lack of compression, sometimes you want to see if it's a broken valve spring. you know, the entire valve is hanging loose when it shouldn't be, or if it's a bent valve, or if it's a drop seat or a chipped valve. Having both cameras gives you that advantage. So I would definitely say, for the money, the TESLONG is definitely not a bad option. And there's rumors of them making an articulating borescope. I wasn't supposed to say anything, but you know what? Screw that. There's rumors that something's coming out, and I'm looking forward to that one, and I hope you guys are too. This is a pretty straightforward review. I'm pretty impressed with it. For the price point, it is not bad at all. I've used it for about a month now, and it's holding up. It's holding up pretty well. I gotta tell you that much. If you're looking to buy one, check out the description, the link in the description below. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. It is super straightforward, guys. Let me show you the tip of it, so that you can see what's involved in the camera itself. We've got, it is a semi-rigid cable. It would be nice if it wasn't so much cable. Like, this thing is long, but maybe that's an option that they sell. I don't know of it right now. And then we look at the other side, and we've got the other camera right there. We got the camera in the front. Comes with some accessories. Comes with a case. I don't really use these much. All I want to do is look and not grab stuff with it. Comes with a charger, decent case. The video though comes with a much shorter cable. I have grown used to this cable, to be honest with you. It is not crazy long. And this is what I did to it. It's taken a couple years to do it, but I finally managed to do it. Check that out. The articulating head is, the braid has come apart, and I can see the insides of the borescope head. And I'm afraid that if I get any fluids in there, not only will it not be able to come out, but it will, you know, oil eats through everything, and it is irreplaceable. They, I believe, discontinued. I could be wrong, but I believe they discontinued this unit, and the only way to replace it is to replace the center, which is that's what costs most of the money that the camera's worth. So it is a great unit, but yeah, it just, wow. I mean, that speaks for itself. So we'll see how long this one holds up. I am looking forward to another articulating borescope. Hopefully TESLONG will come out with an articulating borescope. If they do, I'm definitely going to grab it. But for now, this will have to hold me off. I am pretty happy with it. The only gripe I have is that when it's when you're looking at it on a PC, you'll see a little bit of blurriness, but that's because of the pixels. I mean, you can't expect this to have a $1,000 camera pixel image quality. So, and the cable is ridiculously long. I haven't fully extended it. This thing must be like 20 feet, and it's heavy. I see the semi-rigid. This is a matter of preference for me. The semi-rigid is nice, but I really like the semi, how can I say, flexible, the braided cable instead. I like this a whole lot better than the semi-rigid setup. So that's just a matter of preference. Maybe they sell an option to change that out. I haven't looked into it yet. So yeah, it's just what my thoughts on, just super quick thoughts on my new borescope, the TESLONG NTS500. If you have any questions, if you want to see more things about it, I'm going to try to get it in action. Probably get some footage in here of it in action. It's great for like checking out coolant leaks in a valley on a V engine, a V-type setup. It's great for checking out intake valves on GDI setups. In some cases, you may be able to even look at an evaporator core to look for leaks. In some cases, I mean, rear main seals, you name it. The possibilities are endless for borescopes. I've checked for water in a transmission through a dipstick on Dodge. You know, or you could go through a breather and check for water into something. I mean, all kinds of uses for it. You just have to get a little bit creative, and it'll pay for itself, definitely. I wish I had more to say on it. This is a super like quick overview of a review. It's not an in-depth one like the other reviews I've done, but you know, I feel like it's been long enough since the last time I made a video, and I hope you guys appreciate it. Thank you all for taking the time to watch. I'm hoping to get more content out for you guys soon. It may not necessarily be diags. We may end up going to repairs. That's what I've been doing a little bit more lately. The diags that I do get have been like either crazy in depth and hard to get approvals, or it takes so long to get approval, or they've been like, you know, TSBs and really quick in and out diags. So don't want to bore you with that stuff, but we may, if you guys are up for it, may be able to get you guys some European repair videos. I know there's not a crazy amount of Euro repair videos, so if that's what you guys are interested in, feel free to leave a comment and let me know. Thanks for watching, and until next time.